Hello students, today we are going to do the first chapter from the book First Flight, A Letter to God by G.L. Fuentes. The story, A Letter to God, revolves around the idea of having unquestionable faith in God. The story is set in a Latin American country. Let's begin with the summary of the story. Lencho, the protagonist of the story, is a simple, hard-working farmer. The story begins with Lencho hoping for rains so that his crop would give him a better yield. Looking at the sky, he told his wife that it was going to rain soon. True to his prediction, big drops of rain began to fall. Lencho was happy. The drops of rain were like coins. The big ones were 10 cent pieces and the little ones were worth 5 each. He is confident that his harvest is going to yield huge profit. But suddenly, a strong wind began to blow. Along with the rain came very large hailstones. Lencho was worried. His delight turned into despair. The house, the fields, and the hillside were covered with white hails. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. Lencho was sorrowful. They would have no corn that year. The damage posed a threat to the entire family's survival, as their entire livelihood was dependent on the year's produce. Although disheartened that faith in the Almighty, there was a single hope. It was the help from God. Having unshaken faith in God, Lencho wrote a letter to God. He wrote that if it didn't help, his whole family would die. He needed 100 pesos in order to sow his field again and to live until the new crop came. He wrote to God on the envelope and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the postmen who read the address laughed heartily and took it to the postmaster. The postmaster was quite a friendly and pleasant man. He too broke out laughing. But soon became serious. He admired Lencho's faith in God. He didn't want to shake Lencho's faith in God, so he decided to answer the letter. He also realized that he would also have to send some money along with the letter. So he collected money from his employees, his friends. He also donated a part of his salary. However, he couldn't collect 100 pesos. He could collect only a little more than half the amount Lencho has asked for. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God, to make it seem like a reply from God. The following Sunday, Lencho came to check his mail. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him. While the postmaster was happy with his deed, watched from his office. Lencho had firm faith in God, so he wasn't surprised to see the money. However, he was angry. when he counted the money. At that time also, he didn't doubt God. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied him what he had asked for. Immediately, he asked for paper and ink. He again wrote a letter conveying his disappointment and distress in the employees of the post office, who he thought had stolen the remaining money. He dropped the letter in the mailbox. The postmaster immediately collected the letter and opened it. In the letter, Lencho has written that out of the 100 pesos, only 70 pesos reached him. He needed 30 pesos more, but he asked God not to send it to the post office. He believed the post office employees to be a bunch of crooks who stole his 30 pesos. The end of the story is rather ironical. The postmaster was greatly impressed by Lencho's faith in God. He didn't want to shake his faith in God, so he collected a sum of 70 pesos from his employees and friends. He also donated a part of his salary. However, his great act of charity was not recognized and appreciated by the man who received the help. On the contrary, the helpers were ironically called a bunch of crooks. I hope you've understood the chapter. Now, here's a list of new words. I hope this will help you to understand the chapter well. Now, we move on to the important questions. First, the short answer type questions. You're required to answer these questions in about 30 to 40 words. Let's discuss the questions then. Why did Lencho say the raindrops were like real coins? Yes, because he was confident that his harvest would yield a huge profit. The second question, how did the rain change? What happened to Lencho's field? The wind became strong, leading into hailstorm. The corn was totally destroyed. The third question, who or what did Lencho have faith in? What did he do? Lencho had firm faith in God. Thus, he decided to write a letter to God asking for help. Was Lencho surprised to find a letter for him with money in it? No, Lencho was not at all surprised because this is what he was expecting. Instead, he was angry when he found that the money was less than what he had requested for. Now the long answer type questions. These questions are to be answered in about 100 to 150 words. What is ironical about the ending of the story? This we have already discussed. Ironical because Lencho failed to appreciate the postmaster's effort to collect the money for him. Instead, he called them a bunch of crooks. Elaborate these points. I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.